Hey, what is up, guys? It's me, Eddie, and I am back with another episode of Katawa Shoujo. Now, small problem. I don't know whether I want to do the Rin route or the Lily route first. Or second to last, technically. So, a part of me thought, I'm gonna flip a coin. Until I realized, actually, I should probably just go for the one with less choices. And, wait. Actually, let me do a very rapid sound check first. I probably should have chosen this, but I was just super busy yesterday. And the day before. So, I will do a very rapid sound check, and then, I will still probably be fumbling around and try to see what route I should start first. Okay, yeah, everything looks good. Time to fumble around a little more. Let me see. Okay, so Lily's route. Go for a walk in town. Is it here? Was it here? Okay, so wait. Okay, so I actually, yeah, now that I think about it, I think I do need to just restart the game, go for a new game. So, Lily's route, it is? I think so. Yeah. And Lily's route, I've heard, is one of the fan favorites. So this is actually... Oh my god. And this is where we diverge. Following Hanako to the library. So I guess we're doing Lily's route, folks. I actually do think I could just not have to... Anyways, whatever. Moving forward, we are on the Lily route, folks. I guess I'll be able to read Sisterhood soon. Okay. Following Hanako to the library seems a bit intrusive. Kenji. Following Hanako to the library seems a bit intrusive. There was a reason she left the classroom after all. Oh man, it's been so long since I've read like a lot of this text. Aww. And that aside, I do want to catch up with Lily. At the very least, I'd like to thank her for looking out for me despite her other obviously taxing duties. I guess I'll walk around town. With any luck, I should be able to find Lily. The exercise will do me some good as well. Walking through the school courtyard to the gate, I give a small nod to a couple of passing classmates, the gesture being returned in kind. Even from here, the shouts of the sports club members can be heard. The sheer volume of the din, the track must be packed right now. I remember what Lily said about, wait a sec, now that I think about it, in another time, like, wasn't I, like, over there watching Amy? Is that today, or is it not? I'm not sure. I remember what Lily said yesterday about being dropped right into the middle of a busy time at school. While I'm trying to get my bearings and catch up on study that I've missed, everyone else is doing normal school activities. The feeling of being a foreigner still hasn't dissipated. At least, not yet. Well, I guess not everything's bad. This is a private school, and that much is easily noticed when walking outside. Not only are the school grounds huge, but the buildings themselves are immaculate and quite divorced from the dime a dozen concrete blocks of the public schools. Yeah, honestly. I wish more schools looked like this. There's also the fact that there's a much stronger sense of community here, or at least a friendlier atmosphere. At my old school, it is generally accepted that people will keep to their own little clique and be done with it. Eventually, I reach the gate and begin to walk down the road and into town. Well, that was fairly productive. Having seen a fair portion of the town, even including the houses perched up on the hills around the outskirts, I decided to take a walk around the park before heading back. Living in the city all my life, the total lack of smartly dressed businessmen and fashionably dressed girls strikes me as incredibly unusual. All that's to be seen are the odd elderly person shuffling along the sidewalk and assorted busily chatting pairs of middle-aged women outside of small storefronts. Walking along the road to the park quickly distracts me from them, though making me realize that I perhaps pushed myself further than I should have done to see as much as I could. As my breath begins to wheeze and my chest tightens up more and more, I give up on the prospect of soldiering on. After a quick glance around the park as I enter, I take a seat on the wobbly old bench and notice that I noticed near a couple vending machines. For minutes on end, I sit with my head bent over, forcing myself to take deep breaths. I feel more like an old man than a teenager who should be in the prime of his life. The stay in the hospital, the surgery, and the medications must be taking their toll on me. Damn it. Eventually, my breathing returns to normal and the muscles in my chest loosen, not without a fair measure of relief. I guess this means the end of my little sojourn, though, in any case. There's a cafe on this far corner, so I'll stop by to quench my thirst before heading back. A little bell above the door signals my arrival to an empty counter. For a few minutes, I stand there waiting, my eyes every now and then drifting from the one end of the counter to the other, searching for a service bell. Eventually, a door some ways behind the counter opens, the person emerging from it taking me by complete surprise. Yuko? Hi, I had no idea you worked here. I really have no idea how to address her either, given that she is technically school staff as well as apparently a waitress. Ah, yes, she doesn't remember me. She quickly paces up to the counter before flipping her upper half downward in an overactive bow. Welcome to the Shanghai. May I take your order? Straight down to business, I see. I don't know, well, some coffee, please? Yes, certainly. I'll make it right away and bring it to you when it's done. Thanks. Yuko's formality takes me aback. She seems to take her job very seriously. Obeying her instructions, I turn around and quickly glance around for a free table. Considering this cafe seems to be empty, this is a simple task to accomplish. As I walk towards the table adjacent to the window, I notice a flash of yellow around one of the table dividers. Oh! Hey! Sure enough, no more than a glance is needed to ascertain that it's a certain Sato at the table. That said, I don't recognize a suited figure across the table from her. Oh, Hisao, you've met, You've met Akira quite a few times in other timelines. Blonde, fair-skinned, and only a little shorter. She, I think, must be a relative. Since the two are but silent, as the suited figure takes a swig from a cup of coffee, I decide to greet Lily. Some part of my coming here was in order to meet her, after all. Hi, Lily? Isao? Yeah, nice to see you again. The suited girl looks up, noting my uniform with a relaxed smile. Well-dressed person. Know each other? I guess. It's a good approximation of a relationship as I can think of. Care to take a seat? She says this to the air beside me, but the message is clear enough and I take a seat beside her. I suppose some introductions might be in order. Hisao, this is Akira Sato, my older sister. Akira, this is Hisao Nakai, another Yamaku student. Looks like my guess was correct. The newly introduced Akira gives a nod, which I return. What I don't return, however, is the almost analytical gaze with which she looks me over. As she does, Yuko walks up to the table and carefully places the coffee on the table before bowing and taking her leave. Gently bringing my hand to the side of the cup, I realize that it's already at just the right temperature to drink. After taking a sip, the flavor turns out to be just as good as the temperature. Yuko seems to be a lot better at this than being a librarian. I take a good long drink before relaxing into the seat. It takes mere seconds for Akira's examination to come to an end. Apparently, becoming quickly bored with the activity, she turns to her sister. I love that expression. So, how's school recently? It seems Akira is entirely unconcerned with someone she doesn't know at all, listening to everything they say. Not that I mind. Leaving them to their chatting, I sit back and continue drinking the pleasantly aromatic coffee. Sounds like it's pretty busy for you then. At least I'm not cooking your meals after school anymore. As I talk, I slowly realize I'm entirely unable to gauge Lily's emotions through her eyes, as I would for any other person. It could become slightly unsettling as I subconsciously notice on that fact. Whoa, so cold. Weren't you cooking for yourself anyway? I only ever got leftovers. Akira is so based. That's hilarious. Akira's hilarious. It's not the point. Are you managing to feed yourself at least? I can cook without blowing myself up, you know. Mostly. That's... Hahaha, it's fine, it's fine. I need to learn sometime anyway. Ah, Lily? Everyone present is momentarily distracted by Yuko, who places a cup of tea on the table for Lily. Taking the moment to glance at her watch, Akira levers off her seat and gives me a quick nod. Well, I'd better be off. It was nice talking to you, Lily. Akira, do you have to? Lily looks genuinely mournful at her sister suddenly leaving. It does seem like she might have the wrong idea. Sorry, I need to get back to work. They'll be on my neck again if I don't make it back quickly. Oh dear God. So informal. Akira's trim and tidy appearance would give anyone the wrong impression of her. Hey, she's just an office lady. Bye, Akira. Come on, don't look so down. I'll be around again soon. See yas. With that, she waltzes out of the Shanghai with her hand held high. Hand? Lily still looks pretty depressed, so I try to make some small talk in an effort to take her mind off of it. She seems nice. We used to live together, but now that I live at school, we hardly ever see each other. Despite Lily having been quite affable, I still don't really know much about her. In hindsight, it's surprising just how much she's extracted from me lately. Used to live together. Was it somewhere around here? It's pretty so far south, so the trip into Yamaku was fairly long. With her working longer hours and Yamaku being so far away, there's little choice in the end but to move into the dormitories. Oh, that explains the chatter about cooking. Evidently regaining her composure, she livens back up, at least in part. I take it you're better rested now. Sorry? You sound less exhausted than you did when you first came in. To be able to pick out my breathing like that, she must have pretty good ears. Yeah, ended up walking all over town despite only planning on taking a short walk down here. Reminded of my thirst from the walk, I lean forward to take a sip. Without further ado, Lily starts on her cup of strong-smelling tea. I guess I better get going back to Yamaku. There's only so long I could stall studying for, and I want to get a good night's sleep before the festival. Standing from my seat, I take the coffee-stained cup from the table. You're leaving? Yeah. You're going to head back as well? You going to head back as well? It's getting kinda late. For a moment, she pauses before lifting her face up over her teacup as if she was looking at me. Can we have one more coffee, please? Okay, I'll bring it right away. That's not subtle. She gives a short giggle at my frank assessment of her maneuver. It's surprisingly childish and carefree, given her otherwise collected appearance. Wait, this is a new song, isn't it? I've never heard of this one before. This is new. In the end, though, I have little reason to refuse. To be honest, I could hardly say no, all things considered. Given a manufactured sigh, I take a seat opposite of her. I take a seat opposite her. Wanting company, then? I'd say it's more that I was wondering. I see that she's in questioning mode again. She does seem unusually interested in me, or at least curious. Do you have any siblings? Not exactly unexpected tangent. No, an only child. To be honest, the idea of having someone else that close makes me a bit envious. Interesting. I raise an eyebrow, which of course goes unseen. The short silence communicates the question well enough. It's just that the others have said the same thing before. It's a difficult subject to try and think about objectively, given I've always had someone like that. I can mostly understand what Lily means, given that it would be hard to place oneself outside of a situation they've been in all their life. She and her sister must have had a pretty close relationship. Taking pains to interrupt us as little as possible, Yuko dutifully comes over and places a cup on the table. Lily thinks as I sit back, taking in this vexing girl in front of me. Despite always seeming to be on guard and in control of herself when talking to others, she has an almost childlike curiosity about other people. Wait, have I heard this song before? I don't know. I might have. I might just be forgetting. This is like Lily's theme, basically, isn't it? Now that I think about it, it does kind of sound familiar. I don't know if I'm just going crazy, though. Anyways, that said, those rare moments she seems to think slightly lower her guard are the most insightful into how she thinks. Reaching forward for my drink, I realized something I should have... Let me turn the thing up. Searching forward for my drink, I realized something I probably should have noticed earlier. I think I'm starting to become kind of curious about her. Despite making a good pace, it's already nightfall by the time I reach the large iron gates in front of the school. It's nice to have plenty of time to wander around the virtue of living right next to the school. I can't help but get the feeling that very few students actually take the opportunity. Compared to the number of students I see milling around on campus during free hours, it's startlingly rare to see anyone around town. Given the large number of accommodations and facilities that the school offers, many of them simply might not see a point in venturing outside, let alone people such as Hanako and Kenji. Makes me wonder if students like Shizune, Misha, and Lily are the exception to this school, rather than the norm. Amy goes to the Shanghai, I know that. As I wander back to my dorm room, I continue to compare my old school with Yamaku. As I do so, I begin to be surprised that I managed to get even this used to everything that's happened to me. The next day, I wake up feeling a little lightheaded. It's almost noon already. Sleeping late is fine since it's a Sunday and there are no classes. Not just a Sunday though, but the festival as well. From my window, I can already see people at the soba booth slinging noodles onto plates for people with a craving for low-quality food. I throw back a handful of my morning meds and ponder about how to spend the day. There will be a few exams in the coming week, but I don't consider those as ominous as others, so I'm not worried about them as I probably should be. With no urgent obligations regarding education, I should be free to spend the day at the festival as I like. Finishing my morning routine, I exit into the hallway, intending to go out and find something to eat. Passing by his door, I decide to see what Kenji's up to today out of him. Well, actually, we have seen this, haven't you? Oh! Oh! Wait, this is the same as Hanako. This is the same as Hanako's route. Okay, that's crazy. Despite most of them seem quite relaxed as they work. Right, I know what I'll do. Even if it's just one person, I'll make the festival more enjoyable for her. Aha! As I place the bowl onto the counter, I call out to Lily. Ah, Hisao, you brought it back. Yeah, here. I slide it into her hands, and she takes it over to someone who is apparently on cleaning duty. Considering that I didn't see them here before, it's probably a penalty for their tardiness. Hey, Lily? She perks up and returns to the counter as she hears my voice again, realizing that I'm still here. Want to go see some more of the festival? Oh! Whoa! Oh, okay. That blush. That blush. Yo. Okay. She's, oh, there's a new sprite. New sprite, folks. New sprite. She puffs her cheeks disapprovingly. It looks kind of cute and in complete contradiction to her usually reserved pink. It takes a few seconds for me to see what for me to get what she's taking issue with. Oops. I didn't mean to. Lily giggles at me, exposing her teasing for what it is. Oh my god. Okay. You're still not used to the school, are you? She got me. Still, I kind of need to stay with her stall. It's taking until just now to even get everything unpacked. I guess her reluctance shouldn't overly surprise me, considering how much work she's put into this. Everything seems to be running fine now, though. Besides, you got extra help on hand anyway. A boy in the middle of cooking some soba noodles turns towards us, grinning. Go on, Lils, you've earned yourself a break. You can hold down the fort for now. You say it's okay, then I suppose so. But if you need any help, then we'll call you. Go on, we'll be fine. I always thought like Lily was older than me, but... Lily finally gives up her resistance as he waves a spatula at her. She feels her way around the back of the stall and picks up her cane on the way. I guess the first thing we should do is look for Hanako. Lily seems kind of worried about her. I doubt she'll be the kind of person to enjoy milling around crowds like this all alone. So, I guess we should search for Hanako. Where to first? The both of us go quiet for a moment to think. Maybe she's in her dorm room. I doubt it. She doesn't keep many things in there, so I doubt she'd have nothing to do. Ah, the library. Good place as any to search for an avid reader, I suppose. The library it is. We'll check there first, then. Goddamn, Lily Blush is adorable. Aside from the muffled sounds of the crowd seeping in from the outside, the inside of the school seems almost deserted. In order to make sure everyone had enough room, I guess all the events were organized to be held outside on the school grounds. They're definitely quite large, by any other school standards. It's nice and quiet in here, isn't it? Yes, much nicer than the hustle and bustle outside. We take our time and slowly walk through the first floor of the school, eventually reaching the stairs to the second floor. I can't help but notice how Lily anticipates every door and obstacle, her cane remaining still and her hands skating along the hallway railings. You really know the school well, don't you? Hold on, let me bring the mic in a little bit closer. She smiles and nods straight ahead. I've been here a few years now, so I know where everything... That's a little too close. So I know where everything is. The dorms still trip me up sometimes. I haven't been there as long, and they're still not as they're not as well laid out as the main building. If I'm remembering right, they used to be unused buildings before being renovated and used as dormitories. That explains why the male and female dorms look different from the outside, and why the rooms seem kind of unusual for sleeping quarters. Oh, that's actually information I was not made aware of. I assume she'd been living in the dormitory since she began attending the school, but now I'm reminded of what she said yesterday. That's right, you mentioned that before. I assume that most of the students here lived in the dormitories once they enrolled. A lot of them seem to, in any case. Lily's expression becomes somewhat hard to read, the question evidently touching on a delicate point. Well, how should I say? Everyone has their reasons. Something tells me that one of those reasons is Hanako, hence her tiptoeing around the answer. My own predicament is yet another such case. I guess it's a choice everyone here would have to make for themselves, or in my case, have made for them. Can't be helped, I suppose. At least Yamaku itself seems like a nice place. It's good to hear you say that. I thought you were coming to dislike it. What about you, though? My reversal of Lily's statement takes her by surprise. I've been here for a while, so... It's not just that. You seem pretty depressed about Akira. What's with that look? Akira's taken. Sorry, Hisao. Lily never sees how fast my palm meets my face at her sly accusation. Hey, I was worried about you. That's no way to respond to concern. While she gives an oh, okay. She knows how to tease. While she gives an amused grin, we round the corner of the hallway and enter the library. Ooh. Hanako! As we do so, it isn't hard to spot Hanako, considering the room is completely devoid of anyone else. Given that there are no staff around, I guess there's no need to heed the usual library rules. I call out to her. Hey, Hanako. Hanako's here. As she hears our voices, Hanako's head flickers up from behind a book, probably the same one she'd been reading on Friday. Let me get water. Yeah. Hisao? Lily? I'm not drinking water, I'm just bringing it closer here. Okay. Hisao? Lily? Just thought we'd drop by. Lily managed to escape from the noodle stall with a little help. That wasn't really an escape. Oh. See, you remember like the Shizune route? Like, we got that one sprite of Shizune, like, reaching her hands up towards the sky, like, and saying, like, look at the fireworks, but, like, you know, one that kind of looked like a T-pose. We're getting more of a Lily's, I don't want to say special sprite, like, unique expression here. I don't think Hanako had any unique expressions, that's a shame. Like sprites that are unique to her route. Neither did Amy, I think. That wasn't really an escape. Hanako gives a small giggle, briefly surprising the both of us. I just thought Lily might not be enjoying the festival. Well, now we can enjoy it together, right? The two nod happily before we set out for the library and toward the festivities. I hand over some change to the girl behind the counter and take the 2 styrofoam cups of tea. I try to accentuate my bow a bit to cover from the fact that she's quite obviously deaf. Wait, she's an A? She's an A? No, it must be someone who's deaf other than she's an A. Why are sign language classes on the decline now again? Come to think of it, I probably should have asked for help instead of leaving those 2 in the garden while I bought drinks. Trying to juggle 2 cups of hot tea from them and a can of coffee for myself out of a vending machine isn't exactly easy. With some careful maneuvering, though, I managed to keep everything stable and upright as I walk over to the bench where Lily and Hanako are sitting and chatting. It's actually quite a nice place, lit only by the moonlight. It's tucked away some distance from the main events. Compared to how hot it had been during the day, this spot is also pleasantly cool by This spot is also pleasantly cool by now. Not that it matters all that much. Most of the visitors have moved to areas that are either close to the festival, fireworks, or higher on the hill in order to view the display apparently planned. Oh, I'm not gonna go see them. Welcome back, Hisao. Her ears are good. I'm not exactly close, and even Hanako hadn't noticed me. Here you go. Sorry it's instant, but it's all that they had left by now. Hanako gingerly takes a cup from my right hand, and I gently place the other into Lily's outstretched hands. Did you enjoy the festival then, Hisao? Yeah, it was pretty fun. Aww. An honest answer. Much of the food had been somewhat subpar, but it was a lot of fun in the end, especially with Hanako and Lily. In fact, I think those two may have enjoyed themselves even more than I did. With both Lily and me around, much of Hanako's withdrawn nature around others died down enough for her to enjoy herself. Oh! As we sit drinking, the whistle of the first fireworks rings out before it explodes into a vibrant shower of blue against the night sky, heralding the beginning of the end for the festival. Enthusiastic shouts can be heard from the crowd scattered around the school grounds celebrating them. For minutes on end, Hanako and I watch the fireworks overhead as Lily blissfully listens to them with her eyes shut. Red, green, yellow, star-shaped, circular and patterned, and all manner of shapes and colors fill the air, one after the other, and dance across the sky. Wait, seriously? Seriously? I thought... Do you live in like a tiny city or something? I thought cities were like... where big stuff like this happened. No place near where I live put on such lavish displays. Yeah, aren't cities famous for their like most extravagant... what do you call it? Displays? Festivals like this were a thing of the past where I lived in such a metropolitan area. To be seeing such a sight with these two, it's probably the happiest I've been in a long while. So that's it. The festival's finally ending. Yeah. She gives a delicate, wistful sigh. As much as I might complain about all the stuff we had to do, it's still sad we'll have graduated for the next Yamaku festival. Ah. I walk forward and stand beside Lily, gently resting a hand on her shoulder. Don't worry, we still have Tanabata later in the year, right? You're right, it would be nice to go there when it comes. Minutes of silence pass, with only the blast of fireworks to be heard. Seeing those two remind me of the words of advice Lily had given me as we walked into town together. Cherish the opportunity to make new friends, huh? Hey, Lily? She turns her head slightly to show that she's still listening. Hanako's gaze still firmly fixed on the Technicolor display of the Technicolor fireworks bursting overhead. Mind if I join you two for tea every now and again? A smile on her face is more than enough for her to see her answer. It would be a pleasure, Hisao. Oh! Whoa! Whoa! Romantic. Dang. Whoa! Oh. Dang. Dang. Okay. Act 2. Past. Okay. I like that. I wake up to the annoying din of my alarm clock, its bright red numerals lighting up my face. It's the same alarm clock I had at home, one of the few remaining artifacts from my life, from my days before coming to Yamaku. I hoped that using it would ease my transition into this new life. No such luck, though. Groggily dragging myself out of bed, I wipe the sleep out of my eyes, then reach over to my desk. I open a couple of bottles of medication, stir across it, and swallow a few pills dry. Ugh! That's gotta be a superpower or something. By now, the process is starting to become automatic, something I should be glad for, given their purpose. Hold on, I want to go quickly do something. Give me a sec. Okay, I am back. Feeling much more awake than before I wandered. Is this where I meet Kenji? Oh, never mind. While the shower warms up, my mind begins to wander as my new daily routine begins once again. The bright colors of the fireworks fill my mind, as do the two girls with whom I spent my time watching them. It feels strange to be moved so much by people I know so little about. Then again, I suppose these aren't normal circumstances. At least I have someone to talk to now, aside from my schoolmate next door. With the time left before school begins today waning, I begin to get ready for class. Walking through the door into the classroom, I notice that I'm still somewhat early. I see about 5 or 6 students milling around, and most of them looking as if they'd rather be still in bed. It's at times like this I appreciate being a morning person. Oh, you're a morning person. Dear God, Hisao, you lucky bastard. That said, 2 students in particular seem just as perky as always. Hi, Shizune. Hi. I realize Misha and Shizune are probably like morning people too. Cause, Misha goes to bed like really early. Now that I think about it. I suddenly realized that my greeting would be lost on the former, so I quickly followed it up with a wave. She doesn't seem to be overly bothered. Or interested, for that matter. Hello, Hee-chan. Are you feeling well? I could only assume her greeting comes from Shizune. It's hard to tell if she's speaking as herself or Shizune sometimes. Better than most everyone, I guess. You two seem bright and chipper. Misha signs us back to Shizune, as I say, eliciting a somewhat terse answer, if her sharp and rapid arm movements are any indication. Considering that those two made such a big deal out of the festival preparations, I should probably have chosen my words more carefully. What? Since you're a new student, we've been cutting you some slack. Please don't expect this kind of task dodging to be allowed in the future. Misha looks as if she's about to add her own comment, but quickly goes back to interpreting as Shizune continues unabated. All your contribution to Class 3-2 stalls appreciated. Huh? Huh, word sure got around quickly. That, or these two have fingers on the pulse of the school. He would prefer your effort to be focused on the task at hand, namely your own class. Awkward. Oh, awkward. God damn it, we were going out in another timeline too. Now it's all awkward here. As much as I hate to admit it, they do have a point. Before I can respond though, she suddenly adds something more, which draws a smile from Misha. Did you enjoy the festival then? Lecture over, I guess. Yeah, it was good. Did you two enjoy it? Shizune gives a short nod as Misha grins and bounces her head up and down. The contrast, side by side, is amusing. Out of the corner of my eye, I notice more students starting to trickle into the classroom. I quickly glance at my watch, confirms that they're a few minutes late. Hanako! I look over to Hanako's seat and realize she's already there, contentedly reading a book. It makes me wonder just how long she'd been there without me noticing. With heavy footsteps coming up the hallway signaling Muto's arrival, our idle talking comes to an end and I take my seat next to Misha. As the door strikes open, he strides in with a ponderous gait. His posture is even worse than usual and his eyes are barely staying open. I guess my quip to Lily and Hanako about the staff was misplaced. Everyone opens their books as he reaches the desk, and the first class of the new week begins. I rub my eyes as the lunch bell rings out, glad for the temporary reprieve from work. I'm entirely unsurprised when I look over the door and see Lily standing there, cane in hand, patiently waiting for Hanako. Considering her acceptance of my request to join them yesterday, I decide to spend my lunchtime with them rather than eat alone. Hanako moves surprisingly fast to meet her companion, and the two enter the hallway before I can catch up. Lily's head turns slightly, registering the sound of footsteps behind her. As Hanako notices and follows her in her lead, she almost jumps in surprise. Hisao? I mean, hello, Hisao. Lily's back. Oh. Sorry, is that weird? Hi, sorry if I startled you. Lily turns to greet me, helped in her orientation by Hanako. Good afternoon, Hisao. Are you joining us? If it's no trouble, there's not much else to do, really. Lily gives a small nod as if to suddenly brush away any idea that it would be troubling in the least. We descend one set of stairs and walk down the hallway to the usual room, our pace somewhat quicker than usual thanks to Lily using Hanako for direction rather than her cane and the railings. As expected, it's deserted. The sound of the other clubs can only barely be heard as sunlight streams into the room from outside. Looking around the room, I notice a couple empty easels propped up against a wall that I don't think were there before. The art club must use this room as extra storage. Sure to get the chess set out? Hanako's voice seems less tense when she's directly addressing Lily. Yes, I'll make tea while you sort the pieces. Ah, I could do that for you too. I could do that for you, if you'd like. She ponders the offer for a moment before smiling, confirming that I've made the right choice. Her face is remarkably easy to read. Very well, thank you. She slides her retracted cane into the handle of her bag and sets it against one of the table legs before taking a seat opposite Hanako. As I prepare tea for the three of us, I hear the small wooden pieces being set on the board. I wonder how good Lily is at chess given her circumstances. By the time I place the steaming teacups onto the table, Lily and Hanako have already moved their first pieces as they nibble on sandwiches and rice balls from their respective bags. I notice that the chessboard they're using has holes in the middle of each square and pegs on the bottom of the pieces, and has each dark square slightly raised. Watching Lily's fingers skating over the board tracing out the position of the pieces makes me marvel a little at the simple ingenuity of the design. It must be specifically made for blind players. Here you go. Hanako gives a small nod, as they put the cup next to her side of the board. Lily's hand ventures sideways slightly, so I gently place the cup, touching the tips of her fingers, a gesture she seems to appreciate. Our boy's just like, awkward. He's like, aw, cute, and he's like, awkward. Cute, awkward. I finally take the seat and silently sip my tea as the two play. The contrast in their appearances while playing is interesting to watch. Hanako looks at the board, her face one of focused concentration. Lily, on the other hand, keeps her head level and maintains her calm neutrality. Lily's gentle voice addressed the both of us as she continues to play. How's class now that the festival's over? I look to Hanako to see whether she'll answer first, but I see she's doing the same. Not great. Half the class seem to be dozing off, even including the teacher. Not to mention a test on top of that. Hanako quietly adds her own agreement with this. I could imagine that being a bit difficult for you being a transfer student. Well, I think I did fine. Other than the shock of a test coming so early, science is probably my best subject. I remember when I was little, I used to love science so much when I was little. And, yeah, I used to love science so much when I was little. And nowadays I'm more history, but yeah, science was my favorite. Back when I was little. Yeah. How'd you do, Hanako? God. You know, honestly, I want to say something about pills. I fucking hate pills. I just want to say, especially, like, I don't know what kind of pill that was, but you know those, like, pills that are, like, really disgusting and they leave, like, an aftertaste in your mouth? Like, I'm not even talking about them getting stuck in your throat. It's just the taste in your mouth. I'm hoping I can wash it away with enough water. I'm not even thirsty. I'm just... Oh, God, that's disgusting. Oh, God, that's disgusting. Hold on. I've been tasting this in my mouth for the past few... Oh, God, Hold on. I need to... Hold on. And a small sip of juice, I think I did the trick. For some reason, the water makes it worse. I don't know why. Or maybe it's just my imagination. Or maybe the water makes it slightly better, but then, like, my mouth has gotten used to it, and I drink water, and then, like, it resets the palate. Actually, that could be it, now that I think about it. How'd you do, Hanako, about the test? Me? Okay, I guess. Hanako's too sincere to be able to pull off lying very well. That much is obvious. Lily's smile slips very slightly. From her reaction, Hanako mustn't be skilled enough at academics to do very well without preparation. How did your class handle it, Lily? It went surprisingly well. Only one student was absent, which was better than what the teachers expected. Really? With the topic all but run dry, the two concentrate on their chess game once again. I can't say I've ever liked the idea of chess as a spectator sport, but given its unique nature, once I'm wrapped in watching the game unfold. As time wears on, both of them demonstrate decent skills at playing the game. Having captured 2 more pawns than Hanako, Lily has the upper hand, but only slightly. Until Hanako makes a strange move with her queen. Seizing upon this lapse of judgment, Lily takes a piece with her knight. Without without hesitation, Hanako moves a pawn to take Lily's rook on the opposite side of the board and promotes it to queen. Oh, that is a big blunder. Lily's face falters as her fingers move over the pieces and realizes she just fell into Hanako's trap. It's a little distracting to have the board traced out on each move, even if it's out of necessity. Judging by Hanako's lack of reaction, she must be used to... actually, now that I think about it, she's basically playing blind chess. That's gotta suck. I just realized... Oh, shit. Oh, I just realized it's going to be so much harder for Lily to play. Oh, man. Because she's playing blind chess. Judging by Hanako's lack of reaction, she must be used to this. She and Lily must have played at least a few games of chess against each other after all. Check. That's not bad. Nice, Hanako. The compliment causes her to flower into a surprised blush. Aw, thank you. I didn't think it would work. I look over at Lily, her fingers having finished tracing out the position of her remaining pieces in an attempt to extricate her king from this bind. I think this is checkmate. I take another look at the board to confirm. Sure enough, her king has nowhere to escape without being threatened by another piece. My earlier question as to which of them is better at this has just been answered. So it is. Hanako's good, dang. Lily gives a small smile as Hanako smiles. From the reaction, this seems like a fairly usual result. How long have you two been playing? Since I was young. Lily nods at Hanako's brief answer. Hanako taught me how to play soon after I met her. Oh. That does explain it as well. I could beat her every now and then, but that's a rarity. I don't seem to have the right mindset for it. If Lily came to Yamako at the start of high school and met Hanako when she moved to the dorms, that means she'd only been playing for about 1 year. After seeing Hanako's level of play, I'm not too surprised Lily has trouble beating her. But she's better at languages than I am, so... Lily gives an appreciative, if slightly amused smile at Hanako's quick reversal of her compliment. Well, that's how it is. That is true. Everyone's got their strengths. Much to everyone's surprise, the bell suddenly rings, heralding an end to the lunch break. That game lasted longer than I thought it did. Same, I guess we better get back to class. Hanako's already in the middle of packing up, so I take Lily's bag and offer it to her. To my surprise, she takes it and nods, but then places it back down on the table. Hisao, may I make a request? Sure, go ahead. Would you mind if I were to quickly feel your face? Oh, no, go ahead. I don't mind. The question takes me severely off guard, but once I regain my composure, it seems sensible enough. Yeah. At first I was like, whoa, damn, but actually, now that I think about it, I mean, it makes sense. So far, Lily's had no idea what I actually look like, and this would be her only way to find out. Lily raises her right hand, and I take it in mine and guide it to my face before letting go. The entire room is entirely silent as Lily's hands moves over and around my features, from my chin, to my cheeks, to everywhere else. I expect this to feel a lot more disquieting than it does. I suppose that's because the action is entirely a matter of practicality, being functionally no different to simply looking at someone's face. Sorry. Her hand is soft, but what takes me surprised is the length of her fingers. Not to mention how sure even the slightest of her movements are. How sure even the slightest of her movements are. I have no doubt that her level of tactile feeling would be far beyond mine. Her hand briefly runs through my hair before retreating. I'm sure that every inch of my face has been committed to her memory. It's only now, too, that I realize Hanako has been silently watching the entire time. Thank you for letting me do that, Hisao. And if I might add, I think you're quite handsome. Oh, okay. Oh. I blush a little at her remark before raising a questioning eyebrow. But if you can't see how she can feel you. Just because I can't see doesn't mean I don't have my own preferences. Lily blush. We'd better go now. Oh, Hanako. She's a third wheel. I'm so sorry. I got to date you in another timeline, though, so don't feel left out. Actually, do the girls have, like, an interest in you in any of the other routes? Because I don't think Lily had any interest in me in the other routes, based on when I met her. It feels like Shizune sort of has an interest in me from the start. Rin doesn't really seem to have much of an interest in me either. In any of the other routes. But yeah, even if it like doesn't become an actual crush, I feel like Shizune does kind of have like an interest in you. And so does Amy, in my opinion. But then if you don't like race her, I think that like interest is just that. It's an interest. It's like just a little intriguing, and that's all it is. If you actually decide to race her, she kind of like starts to, get a little closer. But I digress. Yeah, that's a good point. I guess we'll see you later then, Lily. Walking through the hallways back to our classrooms, I notice that Hanako seems quieter than before, but also more comfortable. Lily, her hand on Hanako's shoulder, seems to pick up on her assured pace as well, smiling as they walk. If I could spend the rest of my time at Yamaku like this, I don't think it'd be so bad. All that's needed for joy are small exchanges of happiness, after all. Oh my god, did you not eat lunch? Hisao, you dumbass! As I reach my desk and set my bag beside it, I realize it. Or rather, my stomach does. I was so too busy with those two, I forgot to buy lunch. How do you forget lunch? Isn't that like the first thing you do? Hisao, you dumbass! How do you forget that? How do you forget that? It's like #1 priority for me. Saturday, my second most favorite day of the week. Second least amount of school. You have school on a Saturday? That sounds like hell. This is almost entirely due to the fact that it is a day with the second least amount of school, with class ending at the beginning of lunch. I opened the door confidently, myself being more than confident of being able to get enjoyment out of the fine weather and a shorter class length. I confidently stride down the hallways and down the stairs to the lobby of the male dorms. Confidently look behind me to see whose footsteps are approaching. I lose my confidence in this day being enjoyable. Kenji! Hey man, sup? Not much. Just looking forward to the afternoon. You? He wraps around my slumped shoulder far too comfortably. Something's up. Let's step outside, shall we? I was just about to before you stopped me. He doesn't take my reaction to theatrics well. Ignoring him, I walk outside and start down the steps. It doesn't take long for him to catch up with me again. I wonder if he wants money or to rant about another conspiracy. Maybe both. I've got a bone to pick with you. Uh-huh. It's about that blonde. You know who I'm talking about. What? Conspiracy it is. For a moment, I contemplate feigning ignorance, but realize this will go quicker if I just let him get it all out. Lily, the one from your class. You're on first name terms with her. He looks positively shocked at this development. Did he not expect me to be able to answer? He gathers himself and coughs into his fist, dramatically like everything else he does. Well, never mind. I'm here to warn you, man to man. Oh, dear God. Warn me about what, Lily? Yeah, you don't know her, man. It's mostly true. I only know her from her and Hanako for less than 2 weeks, and even then we've just been exchanging banal chatter about school, well, as we while away lunch. I'm pretty sure you don't either. That's not the point. You're the one spending inordinate amounts of time with her. It distresses me that someone like Kenji, who's probably as far out of the loop as one could possibly get, knows about such a trivial fact as who I choose to befriend. Then again, I am the transfer student, and she's not the only representative of class, but also a tall blonde. Maybe I should appreciate this ranting as a warning that the rumor mill exists in this school and that I'm firmly within it. It's just lunch, nothing special. Look, man, under the bridge, see this bridge? You're under it. A man's gotta do what a man's gotta do to get intel. I just want to make sure you don't end up too far under the bridge. You're losing me, Kenji. That's okay, a lot of people get lost. That's why I'm here to help. Just be careful around her. She looks all harmless on the outside, but I've heard shit, bad shit. You know the student council, right? He seems to involuntarily shudder as I said the word. Putting him and Shizune together in a room is an amusing mental exercise. I wonder if they've met. They sure have. Yeah, Shizune and me share in my class. I seem to have dodged the draft, though. Good man, good man. This blonde, she was there in the student council. Right damn there. I see, and she's not there now. Seriously, think about it. Something must have gone down. I stopped walking for a moment, giving the idea more thought than I probably should. It explained the fight the two had, at least in part. Wait, no, not really. Even leading the student council would need a catalyst. In the end, it doesn't explain much, other than the fact that their feud goes back in some ways. I guess you have a point. Not really seeing how that affects me, though. Okay, field this one. Lily's foreign, obviously. Now, what nationality is she? Scottish? British? I opened my mouth to give the answer, but I realized I have none. In fact, I've given the matter very little thought. Given she has no accent and acts perfectly Japanese, I suppose it never seemed important. Now that he mentions it, though, I am rather curious. To be honest, I don't know, maybe in English they like tea. I probably shouldn't resort to stereotypes, but that's the only lead I have. You're not thinking. Luckily, you have me here to think for you. Oh, dear God. Got Kenji. You got fucking Kenji AI. Kenji GPT. I don't know. Gee, thanks. He brushes out the quip effortlessly. Answer to me this. You know, blondes are all rich, right? No. Has a long history of disputes and used to belong to a much larger organization. I don't know. The Roman Catholic Church? Well, okay, there's that. The Mafia is Italian. Come on. Rich, foreign, there's no way she doesn't have connections to them. I have reason to doubt the logic of his deductions, but he shows no sign of stopping. So do you know where I think she's from? Italy? Mainland Italy is small time, dude. She has to be from Sicily. All those mafioso types come from there. She does not look Sicilian. Wait, no, Russia. Oh, actually, okay, I know obviously Kenji's a fucking schizo. But actually, just based on appearances alone, you could say she's from Russia, and I'd believe you. Yeah, this could be bad. The Mafia, they're serious business, man. Ex-KGB everywhere, paramilitaries, hardcore smuggling, and... Wait, slow down. A sec, what point are you trying to get at here? You don't know what she'll do to you, man. I won't get in your way. Agents don't operate that, but I just want you to be careful. When the time comes, we'll need all the help we can get. I don't want to lose you too, comrade. Well, at least he's concerned for me, kinda. I wave goodbye to him as we separate to our respective classes, but I'm not sure he sees the gesture. Piling my books onto my bag, I catch a glimpse of the library books I borrowed last week. I might as well return them, considering they took all of 2 days to finish. Yeah, you should, and you shouldn't just sit on them like they didn't assert another route. I briefly consider inviting Hanako along to the library, but she's already gone. It'll probably be better for my studying if I'm alone anyway. With a quick stretch and a wave to a couple of classmates who give the same to me, I make my way out of the classroom. As I open my bag and shove the books through the return slots on the front counter, I notice a strange person behind the desk. Old and gray, she must be Yuko's replacement when she's working at the cafe. I begin looking for a free table, a task made somewhat difficult that, despite there not being many students here, they're all sitting at their own... Oh, my fucking God. Noticing a familiar head of hair, I walk over to one near the braille section. It's hard to tell whether Lily's concentrating hard or not, her placid expression holding perfectly still as her finger slides across the dot-filled pages of her book. Hi, mind if I sit here? Oh, no problem at all. She trails off, evidently still focused on her business at hand. Ah, Hisao. She gives a nod of greeting as I sit opposite her at the table, pluck a chemistry textbook out of my bag, and quickly thumb to the chapter we're covering in class. For a while, we sit there and read, each in our own way. Seeing her reminds me of what Kenji said this morning, though. Is this a new song? That and the fact that I've never seen someone read in Braille before makes me keep throwing glances at her. I feel kind of guilty about it, given that she has no way to realize I'm doing so I decide to just ask her about it. Her lineage isn't exactly a state secret after all, and there is another thing I've only noticed from her movements. Lineage. Now you're making her sound like an actual aristocrat. Honestly, she might be, actually. For all we know. Hey, Lily, mind if I ask a question? Not at all. Is anything wrong? I was just wondering, you're at least part foreign, right? She gives a small giggle before setting down her book. I've always been amused at how squeamish people are about that. Akira's mentioned how much she and I look different from most others before. The details are a bit complicated, but I'm half Japanese, half Scottish. Scottish? That was not exactly my first guess. Well, it makes sense. Britain. It takes some effort not to blurt it out loud. I try to conjure up images of the place in my mind. I think as far as the UK goes, Scotland isn't a bad place to live in, but I'm not really sure. My first guess of England was surprisingly close, at least geographically. That does leave another question, though. But you have no accent. Well, she grew up here. That's where the details begin. I was born and raised in Japan, despite my mother being foreign. Here's a question. How the hell do you actually look like not Japanese? Have you seen, like, like, the fucking anime genetics, man? Ah, I get it. Hold on, if she moved to my dorm simply due to Akira working longer hours, so they don't live near the school? She gives a small sigh as if she didn't expect me to go any deeper. Was her previous frankness just a front? Not exactly. It's been a long time since we've actually met. I feel like I'm not getting the whole story, but I really don't want to go unduly prying into her situation. Her about face shows she feels kind of awkward about it. So, do you speak much English? To be honest, I don't know that much about Scotland, but I at least know that's the main language there. It takes her a moment to collect herself, appreciating the change in topic. That's right. My family mostly used Japanese around the house when I was young, but they made sure Akira and I knew our Scottish side just as well. I'm fluent in the language, but I'm also studying at school, to keep my skills up and to have the qualifications on paper, mainly. So you're bilingual. That's pretty impressive. Okay. Actually, I want to go off on a crazy ass little tangent here. But you know, I was able to skip past studying a foreign language at university because I managed to just take a test, like an SAT Korean, and I managed to get passed through that. So, I don't know if anyone's interested, but yeah, just figured I'd let you know. By the way, to the other person lurking on my video, thank you for dropping by. So you're bilingual, that's pretty impressive. I wouldn't go that far. Having parents who can speak the language is a large advantage. Yeah, that's true. And English books in Braille aren't too hard to buy or import. With Yuko's help, at least. Wait. Is Braille different in English and Japanese? That's crazy. There's a relatively high demand for local English teachers here anyway, which also helps me to give some motivation to learn it well. Demand for English teachers. For a moment, I wonder why she brought this up. I plan to be an English teacher. She gives an enthusiastic nod. Aww. It must be nice having such a definite future in mind. I've never really given much thought to mine, so I'm kind of envious. Well, in the Shizune route, you decided to become a teacher here. And in Amy's route, I think he wanted to become like a scientist. Was he a science teacher? Like a scientist? I don't remember. Anyways. What's wrong? It's just, I can see you as a teacher pretty easily. It suits you. For a moment, she's speechless. She lowers her face a little and lets out a nervous giggle, something I've never seen her do before. Oh! With Lily's role as a class representative and her dependable nature, teaching does seem to be a line of work fitting her personality. Sorry, that was a little much. It is true, though. Waving her hand in front of her face dismissively, she quickly recovers. It's not just that. It's not that. It's just that only one other person's ever said that to me before. A short, somewhat awkward silence follows a discussion. Without knowing it, I end up staring into a troublesome topic again. I should try to cheer her up a little. It was me who went and got her brooding after all. Who would that be, I wonder? Want to go grab lunch at cafeteria after this? What is it, Shizune? It might perk her up a bit, or at least take her mind off of her apparently complicated family situation. Going by her smile, it seems to have the intended effect. I appreciate the thought, but the food there... Quite a redirection of the conversation. She does have a point, though. The food there isn't the greatest. By the way, I was at Comic-Con recently, and I just want to say, con food fucking sucks. Well, the pizzas and the hot dogs are like the only things that are worth eating. And I guess also the pretzels are decent. That's not true. I guess pretzels, the pizzas, and the hot dogs. Other than that, kind of mediocre. Everyone loves the nachos there. I genuinely do not understand why. The cheese nachos with jalapenos. I did not have it with jalapenos. I had it with chili instead, and it was not very good. I'm just like, why is everyone eating that? I don't understand the appeal. Anyways. Maybe the Shanghai. We could ask Hanako if she wants to come as well. Ah, what is it? I almost forgot until you reminded me. Hanako's birthday, is coming up soon, and I want to go shopping in the city for a present tomorrow. That's an invitation. I'd be happy to accompany you. I remember this plot point. The ability to get more used to the layout of the city would probably be a good thing. I barely have set foot in there, so I'd be hopelessly lost by myself. She gives a nod, signaling that she happily approves of this plan for Sunday. We eventually get back to her books, though before I begin reading again, I steal one last glance at her. Maybe I've been thinking on my situation too much. After all, everyone here would have their own unique circumstances. The chance to get outside and clear my head will probably do me good. Interesting. That is a plot point I do remember, folks. Obviously. Well, yeah. Okay, I think this is where I'm going to leave it off for today. Okay. I will leave the shopping for tomorrow, or not tomorrow, next time. Okay. Hey, that's what Lily looked like when she was younger. That's crazy. I assume that's gonna branch out here. And then we're gonna have Rin branching out here somewhere. Okay. Okay. There's still one left to... What is this? I assume it's Rin. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed this video, folks. If you did, please leave a like, a subscribe, and comment down below. And make sure to smash that bell. Well... the sky is up, and you guys are awesome. I will see you all in the next episode. Oh! The next video, the next stream, by the way, is going to be a barotrauma. It's going to be 2 days later, and I hope you guys are going to be there. Bye-bye.